Let's talk about content creation, shall we? What? Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For the past 12 weeks, I've been uploading a YouTube video every single Sunday here on this channel, and at the same time, I've also been working a full-time retail job, which means I don't work from home and I don't have a lot of spare time to be able to work, do YouTube, see my friends, cook, clean, take care of myself, relax, FaceTime my family because they don't live here. Like, there's so much that I have to take into account that I need to do every day or every week. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 tips on how I actually manage to balance working full-time, doing YouTube, and also having a life without burning out, because believe it or not, it is manageable. So this is gonna be how I manage working full-time presently at my retail job and also doing YouTube. Because like I said, I've been doing it for the past 12 weeks now, and I've also been traveling in the middle of all this, so I feel like I'm at a good place to kind of speak about the tips that I've accumulated over the past 12 weeks and share it with you. So without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Okay, so tip number 1 that I have is to create a schedule or a to-do list. And before you skip out of this video, stay with me because I promise my other 2 tips are not going to be standard, but depending on how your brain works, having a schedule or a to-do list might actually really help you to be productive. Like I said, this tip is pretty standard, but it does help me because I'm just a planner type person. So I really like seeing things laid out in front of me, things that I have to do, so I can see when I have time to do them and how much I actually have to accomplish. If I kept all of the things I needed to do just in my brain, I know personally that would drive me insane and I probably wouldn't get as much done because I just can't visualize the amount of things I have to do and the amount of time it'll take to do them. So for example, sometimes when I have a lot to do, like today, I actually have a huge list of things that I need to do, including film this video. And this morning when I was writing down my list, I also wrote down how long I thought it was going to take me to do each task so I can plan my day better. And then that way I was able to be like, okay, so I have to film a video, I have to edit, I have to go to Asda, I have to wash my hair, I need to work out, I need to do all these things, but how long is it actually going to take me? Like, do I have enough time in my day today to get all this done? Do I need to plan more time? Like, stuff like that. It also makes it easier for me not just to plan my present day, but also to manage like a week ahead, for example. So let's say that it's Sunday night and I know that by next Sunday I have to get a video out. Planning a week instead of just the same day allows me to go and see like, oh, okay, so I have Wednesday and Saturday off this week and I have to get a video out on Sunday, but I know I'm meeting my friend on Saturday, so I basically only really have Wednesday to actually film and edit. And basically it just puts a lot less stress for me on my day-to-day of like waking up and be like, oh shit, you know, I have to film a video and get it out today. Like, that's not gonna happen. So being able to create a schedule and actually see my week in advance and know the big things I have to get done makes it a lot easier for me to just manage my time. So typically what I'll put in like my weekly planner would be my shifts for work, when I have to film, and when I have to meal prep. Those are like the 3 main things I feel like obviously take a lot of time, and planning in advance really helped for me to get those things done. Okay, so like I said, I had my first tip and I wanted to get it out of the way because it's a pretty standard tip that you'll see in most of these videos like this, but my next 2 aren't so typical. And my second tip for you is actually to procrastinate. I know, who would have thought? Be productive, procrastinate, they don't usually go together, but let me explain why this works for me and why it most likely would work for you as well. What a lot of people tend to forget when they want to be more productive in their life, or people who are making these types of productivity videos, is that we are not robots, we're humans. Humans need rest, humans aren't perfect, life happens and you can't prepare yourself if you're feeling low on a day, something sad happened, or you just need some rest because your body's just not keeping up with you. So procrastinate, I mean like take time to relax, listen to your body, take life as is, and don't be so harsh on yourself, because I've just found that the more I try to be robotic and like plan every minute of my day, for example, I'll plan, like I said, my week on Sundays, and I'm planning out Friday. I have no idea how this week is actually going to be to me. So yes, I have an idealistic view of how I want my Friday to go, but a lot of times it doesn't end up going like that, and sometimes I just need to take a day where I just don't do anything towards my goals or productive, and that's fine. That actually helps me out more in the long run than I would if I tried to be this robot person that just did everything without counting in life or emotions. We just need to remember to prioritize rest and time to let ourselves be human. So I'd say there's like 2 ways of doing this. You can either try and schedule in breaks if you are wanting to do like a very planning approach. What I found works best for me is just to plan my days how I want them to go, And then if things happen and I need to like take a step back, relax, procrastinate, if you will, I'll do it as I go along. This is why I have bounced back and forth between both of those ways of like planning breaks or not planning breaks, is because a lot of the times if I plan breaks, I might come to a point where I'm actually, I feel okay, like I don't need this break, and then I will just try and keep working and then burn out. Or I don't plan my breaks and then I end up getting into like a slump because I'm like, oh, I'll just take a break today, I'll take a break today, and then things, like obviously life happens, things keep piling up, but then I actually end up giving myself too much time to kind of relax and step back, and I end up not doing the task that I wanted to in the first place. Take this tip in terms of like procrastinate and relax and be human, but also be mindful that you do have to be a little bit disciplined. I think it's important to take breaks, but just be careful if you find yourself falling into a slump. But just be kind to yourself and remember that you are not a robotic productive machine. You're a human and you need time to rest and experience life as well. You don't want to just be work, work, work and not experience life. Tip number 3 is, I think, my favorite one of all, and it's to learn to say no. This one was a bit difficult for me to learn over the past year, I would say, because I graduated last year, I moved on my own, and now I'm like fully supporting myself, working full-time, and basically just being a grown-up, weirdly so. And I have to rely on myself for everything, and all decisions in my life are my own now, which is amazing. But at the same time, I have to be careful to not say yes to everything and then spread myself too thin. So learning to say no has been a bit difficult just because I have always had a people-pleasing tendency, which can be really nice sometimes when you want to make others feel happy and attend to their needs, but you have to remember that you should come first for yourself. And so being a little bit selfish is actually really important, especially when, you know, you're trying to be this boss person, you're trying to work full-time, pursue something that you're interested in. You're not going to have a lot of extra free time in your life, especially if you live like me in London or anywhere that you just have to commute to work. So I actually spend like 2 hours of my day, of my work day, which is 5 times a week, 2 hours just commuting. So that's 10 hours a week that I'm commuting, which can be like a little bonus tip. Is if you do have a long public transport commute, see how you can best use that time. Little sidetrack here, but depending on how I'm feeling, I'll either use that time to read, like just relax my brain, listen to music, or I'll even do some editing. Like when I was posting a lot on TikTok, I would edit my little TikTok videos on my phone. And so I was able to turn that time into either a productive time or a relaxing procrastination time. That's like an extra bonus that I just thought of. But back to what I was saying, which is learn to say no. It's just important for you to know how to manage your time and also manage what you want to do. So if something is really worth your time, you want to do it, I'd say yes and go for it and do it. But if it's something that you're not 100% feeling like you want to do, and you realize that you're mostly doing it for other people, then I'd probably say it's worth just saying no, skipping it, and working on yourself or relaxing your whatever it is. And it's also really good to, like I said earlier with my procrastination tip, to take time away from work, whether that be content creation or your actual job, and have fun, travel, hang out with friends, because that can also spark creativity, and just time away from work is really good for you. So I think you have to say no in moderation. Know what's good for you, know what you really want to do. The more I grow up, the more I realize that being a little bit selfish is actually really good. I am all for treating people with kindness, but I don't think that you should treat people with kindness to the point where you're hurting yourself. You should be treating yourself with kindness first and then others. And if an airplane video has taught me anything, is take care of your own mask first before helping others near you. Very important tip. So those are my 3 tips for you today, and my main message for this video is that regardless if you're trying to do a full-time job in content creation or starting your own business or whatever you're trying to do, is that you have to focus on you, because you're doing this for you. Most of my tips today were actually to procrastinate, be a little bit more selfish. I've just realized over the past 12 weeks specifically, but also last year in general, that being a little bit selfish with my time has made me a lot happier and also a lot more productive as a person. Something that I know works for me to be like the most productive, best version of me, is going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. And a lot of the times that means me having to say no to going out with friends or staying out later or whatever the case may be. Like I'll leave earlier if I do go out. And just remember to be kind to yourself and do what you can, and don't try and put so much pressure on yourself or spread yourself too thin that you end up burning out, because it's not fun. I did also want to reiterate a little disclaimer that I am not perfect, and even though I'm sharing these tips, it doesn't mean that they apply for me and they work for me every single day or every single week. I do have my low moments as well, where I'm either in a slump, I just manage my time badly, or I do spread myself out too thin and say yes to too much. But in general, coming back to these tips do help me get back on track and then stay on track after that. And you know, life is just life, and it's not gonna look the same every day or every week or every month. It's just never gonna look the same. Something might be working for you now, but it might not work for you 2 months from now. So also you have to learn to be adaptable and see what worked in the past, see if you can apply that now and change things up as you go along and as you evolve with different things. But that is everything that I wanted to share for today. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video all the way until the end. If you're seeing this, I really do appreciate you, and I will see you guys in my next video. So bye.